Hello, Contrarians, listeners, watchers, subscribers. Here we are with the latest Contrarians warm-up. This is on a movie that we didn't know existed. We're coming off the heels of a Spider-Man two-parter, one of the most popular franchises in the world right now. And now we're just like bringing it to a completely different level. A movie that has 15 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but they're all fresh. That means that its Tomatometer score is 100%. Not certified fresh. It hasn't hit that threshold to get the certified stamp, but still, all 15 are fresh, so it's 100%. We don't have many of those in our run as Contrarians, so this joins such a
Charlie Chaplin.
Yes. Modern times, and I think we've done at least one more. What was our other 100%? I don't know. It'll come back to us, or you can.
Family Stone?
No. In our hearts, but not in the Tomatometer. Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about Andhadhun. The
hilarity of it is that we couldn't find a part in the movie where they actually say the word, so we don't know the proper pronunciation of it. We talk about that a bit more in the episode, as well as what the word actually means. But yeah, Andhadhun, forgiveness. There's a possibility that we get, because the internet's international. So if anyone is listening to this that knows the correct pronunciation and wants to break it down phonetically in the comments, it would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, yeah. We got as far as figuring it out that it has to do, it's a play on words as far as the title and what the story in the movie is. And 2018 movie, so pre-COVID, the world was a more innocent place. It was a place where we could believe that the guy could fake being blind and fake being able to see and then fake being blind again, potentially. It's the story of an Indian daredevil, in a way. It's Andhadhun, starring a guy that looks like Dev Patel, but it's not Dev Patel.
I guess. I still don't know if I'm in agreement with you on that one. But Ayushmann Khurrana.
There we go.
And then also Taboo, Tabu, is the co-lead in this, which she makes it a lot easier. She's like Seal. Just... There it is.
Yeah. If we were to see this through the lenses of noir or even neo-noir, she would be the femme fatale in this movie. But I don't know that anybody would call it necessarily a noir. It's more of a mystery, thriller, comedy, dark comedy. There's a lot of labels being thrown about this movie, and we go through all of them in the main episode. It's fresh, so we nitpick it to death in Contrarians Corner, and then we tell you how we really feel in Real Talk. Here for the warm-up, we have a few of those fresh quotes, those precious fresh quotes from this Rotten Tomatoes page. We're going to talk a little bit more about the trivia. We're going to talk about the trailer. And, of course, we're going to have the Josh Gad Minute. So let's get started, Alex. I'm going to give you 3 fresh quotes. There was no consensus. I think that when you have 15 reviews and no more than 15, you don't get a consensus. You just get a fresh at the top. So quote number 1 is from Shilpa Jamkandekar from Reuters, who says, Bollywood doesn't make too many thrillers, and when it does, they don't always measure up. Andhadhun ticks all the right boxes. This one should be savored.
Definitely feels like a movie that if there was like an American port of it, it would be directed by Steven Soderbergh.
Yes. So in that version,
it would of course have like a loaded cast.
Yes, everybody is a big name. And is he teaming up again with Damon? I think Damon's probably like the go. No, Damon is the cameo. So Damon would be just like a, maybe the actor that gets killed at the beginning, or the doctor towards the end.
Yeah, towards the end there, he was really using Damon more like, the side beat. He wouldn't be the lead in it.
No,
I don't know who would be. I don't know. Well, it was the last thing he did behind the candelabra.
No. He's come back since then. That was his official retirement party, but then he came back He's done a couple things since.
Yeah, I forget because like Side Effects was originally supposed to be, I believe, his last theatrical release,
Right.
and then Behind the Candelabra was going to be, but like any true worker, he never really retires. So can make Channing Tatum the lead.
God, you took the words out of my mouth. I was about to like this. He won't see this coming, but no, yeah. So Channing Tatum pretending to be blind, pretending to play the piano. No, Tatum would learn to play the piano for the part.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, no, all seriousness, there's only one person that can play this part, and that's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So
Yeah,
his first collaboration with Steven Soderbergh would be him playing the blind pianist, and then Sydney
the femme
Sweeney.
fatale. Okay, I was just going to go back to like the well of Soderbergh collabs in the past. I was going to say Ellen Barkin, but she would be, I guess, a bit older for JGL.
Wow. Well, I was thinking Sydney Sweeney for the love interest, and then the femme fatale can be Julia Roberts. You know,
Yeah,
he got her an Oscar, so
the crooked doctor that wants to take his kidneys would be Andy Garcia. I think I'm
yes.
confident in that pick.
All right. Let's get back to the original. This is to say that Andhadhun sparked our imagination, so we're like, we can't wait to see the American version.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we savor it, as that quote asks us to do. Next, Kumar Shyam from the National UAE. I guess that's United Arab Emirates, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the chain of events unfold, the wit is very nicely interspersed with hard-hitting moments of greed and deceit, providing a shock and awe effect that leaves you wondering how vulnerable can a common man be. Here's my problem with this quote, Alex. This dude is not a common man.
No.
No, more like a
In
con
addition to
man.
he's very good looking, but then also on top of that, he's a deceitful man.
Yeah, he's an accomplished artist, right? Uh, Everybody seems to be impressed by his piano playing, so that's not a common person. A common person doesn't suddenly commandeer an entire bar and get them to dance just by playing the piano. So I think that he might be trying to be humble, or fake humble, when he's saying that, oh, I don't know about my talent, I'm not that good enough yet. But in the end, he's in Europe playing to reenacting the ending of La La Land. So I think that he I wouldn't call him just your everyday guy. He's not the boy next door.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's a sociopath in a way. We're gonna close with Anupama Chopra from Film Companion, who says there's murder, betrayal, sex, and a mountain of lies. In short, you can't look away. But as it happens too often in Hindi cinema, the energy takes a beating post-interval. I'm assuming they're talking about an
I wonder where the
intermission.
intermission was here. Yeah, I didn't even
Yeah,
think
because we
about
did
that.
get one. We both watched it on YouTube, so you just get it straight up, and it's only 220, 214, right? It's not. We've watched way longer Indian
Yeah,
movies in the past,
it's true.
so I didn't feel the need for an intermission in this one. But if I had to guess, maybe before he hooks up with the doctor and the two accomplices, right? That seems to
Yeah,
be
I
like
was
a
trying.
good.
It seems like there may have been just like one of those fade to blacks during that maybe kind of went to. All right, go get your shit in the lobby.
Yes. Oh, they're about to take his kidney out, and he's like
Bum, bum,
saying
bum, bum,
stuff.
bum, bum. Yeah.
Fade to black. Go get your popcorn, your drink. You come back. He wakes up. Oh, I still have my kidney, and then the rest of the movie plays. I think that's possible. Um, we've had an intermission in our past very recently. Singham 3. We covered Singham 3 for a Patreon channel. That had an intermission.
Mm-hmm.
Even more recently than that, I went and saw The Brutalist, multiple Academy Award nominations.
Oh.
That movie is like 3.5 hours, I think, and it's a 15-minute intermission. It's almost mandatory. You need it, and then
Mm-hmm.
much like this quote says about Andhadhun, I think The Brutalist falls off a cliff once you come back from the intermission. I wouldn't go as far as that here, but I think that I definitely like the first half of the movie better than the second half. And I felt that
Okay.
without an intermission. I just felt it in the way that the story played out. So for more on that, listen to the episode. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, Alex, before we go to trivia, before we go to the Josh Gad Minute, let's talk about the trailer. Let's do some trailer chatter. I sent you the link. You watched it.
This actually bleeds into trivia.
Oh,
Andhadhun was scheduled for release on August 31st of 2018, but the release was postponed until October 5th. The producers announced the delay in a trailer. Raghavan, who is the director of this, Sriram Raghavan, again, much like in the episode, we apologize preemptively for butchered pronunciations.
they don't say his name in the movie either, so
They do not. He wanted the film's trailer to only contain sounds because it is the story of a blind man. But the studio was, quote, shocked at that and said no. After several discussions, they agreed on a trailer. Raghavan, quote, didn't want to give too many things away about the film, end quote, in the trailer, and the studio eventually accepted his view. The trailer was released on September 2nd of 2018. Yeah, watching this, it was like, they tantalize, but they really don't tell you anything about like the immediate twist in this movie.
yes. What you would think would be the pitch, like the elevator pitch, is, hey, this guy pretends to be blind. He's not blind, and so he witnesses a murder. That is not in the trailer. The thing that I would think would make me go to the movie. Instead, the trailer sells it as this blind guy happens to be around a murder. But
what's the line? Every artist has a secret. I think that's one of the things they plaster on the screen, and it's a very westernized trailer too, and like all the clips and like the drama adding up, and then ending on the guy going surprise, and then like the bottle of wine drops. It honestly, like, when it plays out in the movie, you see it coming. You understand what's happening. So it's not as cold as it comes across in the trailer. But I fucking love the way it ended there, where there's a rickshaw started in front of us. I can't remember the actor's name, but you know he's blind, and he's like, does it have a picture of so and so on it? And it's just boom.
She looks at him like terrified.
Yeah, and then
actually, Alex, it ends on the CGI bunny. That's the last thing you see, which is a perplexing choice. The producers didn't balk at that. They're like, really? You want to close with the worst looking thing in the movie? Okay. I like how it opens in a more lighthearted manner when it's like the woman he loves, the woman that's going to change his life forever.
Yeah.
And then murder. It's fun. I just think it's funny that they keep that one bit of information because that gets revealed, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes into the movie. It's not that, yeah. So I mean, good on them. I think more trailers should be able to keep the things. They reveal the murder, but they don't reveal the big secret he has. So that was
Drew Barrymore was all over the marketing material for it, so audiences were stunned when she died 10 minutes into the movie.
Yes. Speaking of, you do see they do spoil the Scream cameo.
Yeah. Which in the context of the trailer, it makes everything just like, what is this movie?
Yes.
Which, to be fair, that's what I said out loud when it showed Taboo wearing the ghost face mask. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah. In the trailer, you would assume it's a dream sequence or something because it's just so out of nowhere. The one thing that I think the trailer lacks, unless I didn't catch it, but I don't think they play any of the music that's actually in the movie.
No, it's more like fucking salsa that they're playing in the trailer.
Yes.
Which is fine. I get down with that just as much, but the music in the movie is really good too. So I was kind of surprised they didn't take any of the tracks from that.
Yeah, that's why it jumped at me. I was like, what? He plays a few cool tunes in the movie. Anyway, that was the trailer. It's a fun little bit of a, it's not even too long. So I think that you can watch it and be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one a whirl. Well, before we go to whatever trivia you have left, Alex, talk about Josh Gad. Let's do the Josh Gad Minute and put Josh Gad in this movie. Are we gonna, much like last time we did an Indian movie, are we having Josh Gad play an American that's basically replaces one of the characters in the movie, so it's no longer an Indian character but an American character? Or are we assuming that Josh Gad is like the Indian version of Josh Gad in this movie? Or are we creating a brand new character for him?
Yeah, I don't know if we need. Like, honestly, I don't know if you have any other ideas, but like, could pitch this in almost the idea of like the American port. You know, we get the
The
Steven
Soderbergh
Soderbergh.
version.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the how old is Josh Gad now?
Man, early
Trying
40s.
trying to see what level of credibility I could stretch this to. 43. All right, I guess I realized he was that old. So yeah, he could be the crooked doctor that tries to take Akash's kidneys. Because you could buy that with Josh Gad, like really sweaty, intense 5 o'clock shadow, and just constantly trying to barter deals and be like, "All right, we can do this," and then I won't take your kidneys, but we can go here and because that character with the way this movie's portrayed, also the way the character's portrayed in this movie, there are elements of dark comedy in this, and it's supposed to be this guy just really doesn't care who lives or dies, just as long as he makes his nut, and he'll rob Peter to pay Paul, so to speak, and I think Gad could pull that off, or he's the guy that tries to set up the drop off with the money and get shot in the neck. But we have Gad die too much in these things, man. He doesn't need to. Well, we don't know also if that doctor makes it to the end. That's the ambiguity of it. So
I don't think I think it looks good. Well, okay, in one version of the story, I guess he doesn't. But you're right.
yeah,
Yeah. Depending on which adventure you choose when you're choosing your own
yes,
adventure.
which
Um,
path that you choose there. I'm sure you could find other small parts for him, but to me, that's just immediately where I thought he would fit in.
if you're doing the Solar Report, though, and you just want to be bold, I mean, Josh Gad can sing, so he could play the main character.
Akash,
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be named Akash, but he'd be like George or
yeah.
something. And, you know, he can pretend to play the piano, he can sing, and
Or if you really want to turn on his head, he could be Manohar, the police deputy, and
okay. I thought you were saying the actor that gets killed at the beginning.
that would be funny. He's playing himself in a movie like this. Yeah, no, he can't be Manohar because that guy comes across as kind of a badass. And all due respect to Josh Gad, I don't know if I'd buy him in that role.
You have to put in the extra hours. Yeah, they
Yeah.
describe him as a bodybuilder, so you need like a presence. All right, well, Josh Gad, get in touch with Soderbergh, pitch him this project. I think that you can either be the main character or you can be the doctor.
There's gold in them thar hills, I tell you.
Yeah, people like that. 100%. Just point at the Rotten Tomato score and just cover how many reviews. Just the Tomatometer. All right, let's close with trivia. Alex, what trivia do you have for Andhadhun?
Not much. Covered the trailer piece there. This was, as I mentioned, released on October 5th of 2018. Estimated budget of 32 crore, which equates to about 3.7 million in our terms. So it sounds like 10 crore is roughly $1 million American. Had a box office return of an estimated $65 million. So doubled its budget, which is always favorable.
Commendable.
Indeed. It was quite the awards darling as well. It was released to widespread critical acclaim, as we've covered thus far. And it won 4 awards, including Best Director and Best Screenplay at the Screen Awards ceremony. It won 5 Filmfare Awards, including Best Film, the Critics' Choice, Best Actor, Critics' Choice, and it won 3 National Film Awards, the Best Feature Film in Hindi, Best Actor, and Best Screenplay. It was the 4th highest grossing Indian film of 2018. It was, and we talked about this in the episode, it's already being remade in 2021, twice in 2021, and again in 2024. This is in 3 different languages, as you'd imagine. It's got a Tamil version as well called Andhadhun, which sadly, I don't believe ties into the cop universe.
That is wild that the timeline speeds up so much for remakes. Sometimes, I guess, in India,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it feels like. I mean, but I guess, like, it's just because we're so used to the way that
The movie that's been remade 3 times in less than 10 years. It's pretty
right.
fucking nuts. Yeah.
Like that doesn't happen here. I mean, we complain about remakes all the time, but you give them, I don't know, 10 years at least before you even give another shot, and that's like more like installments in a franchise, not actual remakes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Like it's because we've just talked about it recently, but Amazing Spider-Man was what 2012, 2011,
right?
and then Homecoming came out in 2017. But again, that's not like necessarily a remake. It's like a new
Yeah.
entry into a franchise. So yeah, it is a bit of a different thing. For context here, we do have some Contrarians canon for the top grossing Indian films of 2018 as the number one box office juggernaut that year was a film I covered. I believe, yeah, it would have been QVR because it was just one that I did, and that was 2.0. One of the more insane films I've seen in my lifetime, where cell phones all band together and become like a big fucking juggernaut that threatens to take over the country, nay, the world. Number 2 was Sanju, which we're not familiar with. Number 3, Padmavat for Andhadhun, and then 5 was Simba, which I believe you did a QVR on, Fernando.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man, we're kind of circling that year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that means that Singham was not too far before that. It's
Correct.
probably a year or two before.
It is just kind of funny when 2011 was the first Singham, so just a few years prior to. I'm trying to remember when Singham 2 came out. That was 2014. Singham Returns. What a fucking picture that is! Fantastic piece of business. But yeah, it is kind of funny that we have like precedent and grounds for these movies that we've covered. This being obviously the most recent.
I mean, this one kind of stands on its own compared to most of the other stuff, right? Like the cop
it
universe stuff.
Mhm.
And then you have the love story that we did on Patreon, that the woman that was obsessed with the rebel leader
Oh, that
ended in
movie
tragedy.
sucks.
Right, but that also kind of like stood on its own.
Parata
Pirata Varmam,
Varma, something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
killing it with the pronunciation of the titles.
I know Vikram. I know
Yeah,
Singham.
yeah,
I know Karti. Yeah, this movie has a bit of a Western feel to it in the sense of, at least for like the modern standouts that we've covered, I think you and I would be semi-qualified to say, okay, these are the beats that they play for their audiences there. And this doesn't really have it. It does have a couple of like kind of silly jokes that come out of nowhere. They're like, yeah, well, it's just kind of, par for the course there. But it's yeah, I don't know if that sounds egotistical to say it's westernized, but it definitely feels like a more in line with movies that we see released domestically versus like the Singhams and the Vikrams and the shit that we've talked about previously.
yeah. The musical numbers, like there's musical numbers, but they are not so like overblown the way that we've seen in most of the movies that we've covered on the show.
Unless I'm mistaken, all the music in this is the background to like montages or like an overlay to like a sequence of events that's going on.
Yeah, it's like if it's not him playing at the bar, then it's just, I guess, the soundtrack of him playing while he's falling in love or while he's planning the next
Oh, and we
criminal heist.
forgot about Pathan, which that is Pathan is a movie of which why movies exist. That movie fucking rules, dude. Yeah, but to your point, there's no like mid movie breakdown and like a moment of tension where everyone just starts dancing together. There aren't those big Bollywood-esque music sequences that you would come to expect.
Yeah, and even the runtime. I mean, it's over 2 hours, but it doesn't even hit 2.5. So
And like I talk about in the episode, if I wanted to get picky, I could find a couple things to cut out of there, but it's not one of those, like Vikram, where there's like an entire hour that I was like, just get rid of it. With this, it felt like, yeah, this kind of this runtime was deserved.
yeah, I guess what we're saying is like it's not that much of an effort to watch Andhadhun, and maybe that is an easier sell than if you go for something that's a little more like the other Indian movies that we've covered on the show, right? I think that it might be a harder sell to tell you watch Patan or watch Vikram or even watch Singham, uh, as much as we can tell you some cool stuff in it, because
Mm-hmm.
it could be if all you've done is watch American movies, then maybe the culture shock would be too much. But this one
Yeah,
kind of slides a little bit in.
walks the
Uh,
line.
yeah. So maybe start there. Start with Anhadun and see how you feel about it, and then you can just listen to the episode and see how much we liked it or how much we didn't like it. But that's it for Anhadun. Coming up next, Alex, another big swerve, and now we go back to familiar territory. But we did Spider-Man before this, which is more my area of expertise, and now we're going into the Alex Mattis side of business as we return to the Halloween franchise for perhaps the most infamous entry in the entire series.
Yeah.
I think it's 10% in Rotten Tomatoes. Halloween Resurrection. It's the only one I haven't seen, so I am pumped.
Be done with this shit.
Finally, I can just say I watched them all, and I can speak of them intelligently, and that we will do in the next episode. It's like I said, super rotten, so we'll be saying really nice things about it in Contrarians Corner, and then we'll see what happens. But watch Halloween Resurrection if you can handle it, and then listen to the episode. So we'll see you then. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Take care.